Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my platform. Those of you that are returning and those of you that are new, welcome to my platform. My name is Astraea Love, and I am here to do a reading for you guys today. So I hope everybody has had a good day wherever you're at in the world. God bless you and peace be with you. Please know, you guys, that my readings are timeless, which means it can be 10, 20, 30, however long YouTube exists for, right? Years in the future. And if you're coming across this video, there's going to be messages in here for you. These readings are to prosper you. They're to help you use your discernment. And they are to assist you in learning about the spiritual realm, your spiritual team, helping you connect with your spiritual team of highest light and resonance. And yeah. So these readings are to prosper you. And I suggest that you watch all of the readings on this platform at your leisure. I would just go through the different titles and whichever one you feel drawn to next. Again, this is practicing your discernment. Then I would pick on that video and watch that one next. Okay, so I'm just making sure that my cards are in the upright. While I do that, we will do the contract. So God bless you guys wherever you're at in the world, and peace be with you. Peace be upon you. Peace be within your heart. No matter what you guys are going through, I promise you this. If you go within and you have the yearning to connect with spirit, your higher self, the divine, things will start to get better. Things may not be easy, but they will be manageable. Okay? All right. So by watching my readings, you are agreeing to the contract of being in control of yourself, responsible for yourself, and with any of the information being channeled. Please be on your best behavior because the Most High God is watching and the Holy Spirit is listening. By watching my readings, you are agreeing to not attack, bully, or persecute me or anybody in the comments or anybody in the chat, because that's just inappropriate and uncalled for. And it'll just get you blocked from the platform. And I want these readings to be available to everyone so that the people that need assistance can have assistance. And if you don't need assistance, then you don't have to watch, right? Also, if you guys could like the video, I would greatly appreciate that. And if any of you have any personal questions, you can send me a $20 super chat with your question, and I will pause the collective reading and I will answer your question. I was just hearing something trying to talk back or talk over me. So there could be some type of telepathic communication going on between you and another person. We'll get into the message in just one second. So just an FYI, there are there's actually, I think now 10 books that are tagged in the products. The two of those books are books that are very close to my heart. In fact, all of those books, if you go to the tag products, you are going to see a bunch of books that will help you while you're on your spiritual journey. I have read these books, okay? And I feel like they are a good investment. Now, there's a couple other books that I want to add that I may add later. But there are two books specifically that I'm going to be talking about just very briefly at the beginning here. The first one is called The Truth of God, and it is an advanced intuitive living workbook written by Michael STEADMAN, who's a doctor of divinity. Now, a lot of the stuff that I'm able to do through using the Truth of God. I've been using the techniques from the Truth of God for 10 years with success. So, I'm going to read the back of the book. Now, there are so many techniques in this book, but I'm going to read the back of it. And if you're interested, if I've got time at the end, I will do a little deep dive into what this book teaches you, well, how it teaches you to do things, right? So it talks about how everyone and everything's higher self is God. It's very high vibrational knowledge. And I've had so many witches and warlocks try to work against this book, and they've never been able to. So the techniques still work, and I use them every day. Okay, so I'm going to read the back of The Truth of God. And also, Michael STEADMAN, who wrote this book, is a doctor of divinity. Okay, so the truth of God is an evolutionary encounter with that which we know as God, gaining new perspective into who we are and from where we came. First, the journey to God takes you to the realm where it all began, making many discoveries along the way. Next, the story of God explains what has seemed to be indescribable, creation, and the path that led to what we perceive to be reality. Last, in the spiritual workbook, Michael gives information and techniques that will allow us to free ourselves from those ideas and emotions that are hindering our spiritual progress, and methods to open up the channel between the conscious mind that we are aware of and the inner consciousness that many are becoming aware of, which is your higher self, your inner self. If you've ever heard anybody say your inner self, that's what it's talking about. Okay, hopefully this tea is not going to burn me right now. No, it is. Okay, we'll wait. Like, we'll wait just a little bit because it is. Oh, damn, that's hot. All right. So that book is available, you guys. It is not expensive, and it's a book that you will use continuously throughout your life. At least I would hope that you would use it throughout your life because the techniques in it work. The second book I'm going to be talking about is the book that I have written, and I do use this book every time that I want to pull cards for myself. So this book is called Vassago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. It's written by me, Astraea Love, and it's tagged in the products and linked in the description box below. And this book, I'll just go ahead and read the back of it, but this book is going to teach you how to read tarot cards for yourself and for other people. It's also, I have the Quick and Easy Original Rider-Waite Tarot deck, tagged this exact deck with the description on the cards. I think that this is great for beginners. And if you learn the interpretations from these cards, you can go to any specialty deck, and when they give you an abstract picture that has nothing to do with what the card means, you will have the original. Okay, so I'm going to read. So I suggest that people have been telling me that they've been using oracle cards in all different decks, and all of the decks still work. Oh, welcome back, Tropical Tarot. But I did write this book off of the original Rider-Waite, and so that's what I would suggest that you use. But again, if you don't want to use tarot, you can use whatever deck that you have. Okay, so I will answer your question. Just give me 1 second. So I'm going to read the back of this book. If you're interested, stay to the ending of the reading. We will talk about it and possibly you actually use it. When I start using this book, though, it's like it ends up being like 10 or 20 minutes because the book is so addicting that I always want to know what the next position is going to say. So it's like I'll be like, okay, now I want to know more. I have that in very curious mind that likes to know things. Okay, so this is going to give a little description of me. Astraea Love is a psychic / intuitive that has been living between the spiritual and physical world since she was a little girl, playing with the fairies in her backyard. She has helped countless people find answers to their questions about their life's experiences with the help of the Most High God, providing inspiration in many forms. This book was inspired by the Ars Goetia spirit known as Vassago. He has assisted me in designing the different tarot card spreads in this book so that they cater to your personal experience. I, for one, know how difficult it can be to read cards for yourself due to our personal attachment to the outcome. This book will assist you in getting past that blockage and in obtaining the spiritual truth that will set you on your divine life purpose, aka spiritual path. This book of never before created major arcana spreads references the standard Rider-Waite tarot deck for all explanations and includes spells and rituals for each of the 22 cards. Different card combination descriptions are gifted from my years of practical knowledge and are included in the additional notes section. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of, I think hypnotherapy is okay, but to be quite honest, I used to know somebody that did hypnotherapy and they had no integrity. So as far as like, you have to find, if you're going to do hypnotherapy, you have got to find somebody that you trust. Okay. Cause I wouldn't, like, knowing what I now know, I wouldn't be letting anybody play with my subconscious thoughts. However, the truth of God, you can use all by yourself, and God you can trust God. And that will help you. If you use the mind technique from the truth of God, it will get you a lot farther than doing any type of hypnotherapy. But yeah, maybe my experience is ruined because of the integrity of the person that was doing the hypnotherapy. And I've heard that by multiple people that it's hard to keep integrity when you're programming other people's minds. Okay, so let me look at your question. Okay. Well, congratulations for recognizing that you have an issue going on, okay? That's the first step to getting healing done. And you admitting yourself, I think that that's better than any other like outside thing having to have you admitted. So outpatient, I think that that's a good thing. So let's see. Now, my next question would be, does your job, are you taking, like, when it comes to your company and your job, are you taking like a hiatus? Are you telling them that you're going to rehab? What's the situation there? If you can just take time off, okay, and not tell them your personal business, a leave. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, I get that you going, and then coming back to your job is not going to be a problem. So I think that this is a good thing. Good, not saying specifics. Good. Yeah, I would stay out of specifics. You going, you're going to be put in, okay, I've only been to rehab once in my life and I was really young, and it was for like alcohol, and I was like in college and stuff. But I will tell you this, when you're in there, they'll put you in a group with a whole bunch of people, and then you kind of have to socialize while you're there. So, they do have usually literature. They have a lot of therapeutic activities that you can do while you're there. But I would say that when it comes to cocaine, it's really like a 3-day withdrawal. The most it's not like an alcohol or a heroin withdrawal, right? It's where, and I'm not a doctor, but what I have heard and what I have known to be true, not just from movies, but from reading things and talking with people, is that, cocaine is one of the easiest things to get off of when it comes to not having to deal with withdrawals. So they may give you like a muscle relaxer or something. I would take some time while you're in there to meditate and go within. Let's get the likes up, you guys. Just to look to see where the compulsion to do. Now, some people fall into habits where they're, and I'll answer your question next, Kiwi Kid. Some people go into habits, like they go into habits and they don't ever get to the root of why that habit is caused. Sometimes when people are using, it's because they're overworked or they're overstressed. And I feel like for you, it could be that you're understimulated or you need something to stimulate you a little bit more. So let's see, the 3 of Swords, sorrow and loss, arguments with the lover. Well, we know that incompatible lovers, cruelty, abuse, and separation causes emotional upheaval. We do know that you've just gone through that. So that's very significant to me. I don't get that that's why you're having this issue, though. It is saying to accept blame for your part. And that's just taking accountability. That's not to blame yourself, for this, because this is something that people fall into. Knight of Wands. Yeah, it could be that you're feeling a lack of energy. Sometimes, people run to substances because they're trying to create a balance where there's been an imbalance in the system, right? Yeah, the Knight of Wands energy, that's definitely your energy, having a lot of energy. Also, I'm getting that it might be good to just slow things down a little bit. Allow your brain to reset. Like while you go to this outpatient program, I would be staying away from any content that's really triggering, staying away from violent movies, things that could cause you to, I want to say, like, have anxiety. And then any type of therapy that they offer, whether it's like a vision board, a little exercise class, whatever they have, I would go ahead and take that and you want to start communicating with other people that are going through the same thing, but in a way that you feel comfortable. 7 of Pentacles, because this is going to be a major turning point in your life. to where you're going to regain physical strength. And, you know, everybody has a different reason as to why they get on something, right? And when you go to a doctor, they are trying to find whatever chemical balance to balance everything out. Also, without you having this addiction, you'll have a lot more money, is what I'm hearing. So that's another good thing. I mean, that's something to celebrate, right? And then you don't want to feel like you're dependent on something, you know, unless you're being prescribed by a doctor, then a doctor's helping you. Because they go to school for a long time to learn about the chemistry of the brain and all of that. And it's also just safer to stay off of the street stuff because you don't know what's being put into it. 8 of Wands. So this is going to bring you to a crossroads where it's going to be like making new decisions, making a lot of new decisions. Hold on one second. Let me get rid of this person. Okay. Sorry about that. That person needed to go. Yes, you wanted to numb the pain from Jackie. That's exactly what I'm seeing with the 3 of Swords. But, you know, don't be blaming yourself, okay? These things, they do happen, but the fact that you're taking control of it now is going to be the best thing for you. The 7 of Cups. Yeah, because you don't want to be stuck in a place where you're, you know, having to self-numb because you haven't processed your shadow and the trauma that's been left behind by her. And I do get that there is a fair amount of trauma. And the weird thing is like, well, I don't think it's weird. It's actually a good thing, but you haven't had a lot of other relationships like the one that you had with Jackie. So I feel I'm not getting that it's like you need to go way back to the first incident that you felt triggered. I'm getting that if you're going to look at a timeline, go to back to when you met her, what your energy was doing at that time, what you were doing in your life. I feel like you getting a hobby or doing something that you really enjoy is going to take the place of this empty feeling that you're feeling, right? Well, you feel full of pain, but you feel empty. And that emptiness is you coming to the realization of what you've been left with, which is being empty. I do get that, you know, while we're under the influence of different substances, sometimes our judgment can be clouded. 9 of Cups, yeah. So when it comes to your wish fulfillment, this is more, you doing this outpatient thing is more in alignment with that. It's going to bring in wish fulfillment for you. It's also going to bring in maybe new inspiration. You know, the good thing about taking a little, I don't feel like your job's going to be affected. You seem to be somebody who works very, very hard. You show up all the time. And so you taking a leave of absence is, you know, you don't even need to tell your job why. Just say for your health, right? And this is about mental health, because what happens when we don't sleep is we continue to be drained of our life force energy. There was a Russian sleep experiment that they did. I don't even think you should look it up because it's so horrific. It's very triggering. But they were pumping gas and they were trying to keep these like soldiers awake. Well, they were captured soldiers, criminals of war, whatever. And after a few days, you start to see things, you start to hear things, you start to have like hallucinations. So we know that sleep is a very important part of life, right? And so make sure that when you're in there, Well, they're going to probably give you something to help you relax, but I would just sleep it off. It'll probably be 3 days of having sweats, okay? Two of Pentacles. I get that an important message is going to arrive for you. This could be a document as well. But this is going to be a turnaround when it comes to how much money you're actually able to save. It's also going to be a turnaround when it comes to you getting your wishes fulfilled. And I think wish fulfillment for you includes having a life with people in it and happiness. 8 of Pentacles. So yeah, you giving this message to your work is going to ensure that you have work in the future. Because if you were to just keep going the way that you are, eventually your body would break down and just start to deteriorate. And that's with anybody that would do any type of substance for a long amount of time. That's why I encourage you guys to be as healthy as possible, to stay hydrated. And I am not a judgmental person. I do not think that it is wrong. I understand that everybody has different stuff going on. Also, you know, you may be inspired to revisit some type of work that you were doing on the side as well. I'm feeling a crown chakra issue, Tropical Tarot, where maybe you're feeling judged by God. I don't get that God is judging you, but I am feeling it in the crown chakra. 10 of Swords. Yeah, you're definitely afraid of people sticking 10 swords in your back. Nobody is going to find out. Okay? Nobody's going to find out. I also get that, like, by you doing what you're doing, you're avoiding a future problem that could have come into play had you not gotten help, right? And putting some trust and faith that the universe can deliver to you everything that you desire. It's just got to be in the right place at the right time. You may find that coming off of this stuff, going to the doctor, communicating with others, I do think that you having a therapist would be a very good thing for you. You know, I'm not sponsored by BetterHelp, but I have heard really good things about them, because a lot of people don't want to go into a physical like office. You're going to get introduced to therapy while you're there. You may even get introduced to like Narcotics Anonymous while you're there. Use these systems while you have access to them. I think all of the AA and NA stuff is free to go to, by the way. So this is something that you can continue in your daily life afterwards if you still feel a pull to wanting to use. But, you know, we're going to take down the heart wall that you have so that, because when we put up a heart wall, we're basically trapping the trauma in, so it can't be released. And also, you don't have to martyr yourself. This is you taking the reins into your own hands and making a good choice for yourself. I also get that when you recover and you do end up going back to work, it's, you know, work is going to be easier for you. King of Wands. So it looks like going from the Knight of Wands energy, having a lot of nervous energy, going to the King of Wands, that's a good step in the right direction. That's an evolution, I would say. And then you being innovative as well. Page of Wands. Yeah, I mean, I still see children for you. So just think about all the great things with you not having an addiction and any type of issue with that. Look at all of the great things that are going to come into your life. The Wheel of Fortune, your destiny. Sometimes, literally, for our reality to shift, oh, thank you. Giving Jackie back. I don't know what that means. Are you talking about getting Jackie back? I don't think that's a good idea. Because I would pull you right back into a fight with the demonic realm. And like right now, you're basically already overcoming that. So yeah, I would literally, no, that's not a good idea. But this Wheel of Fortune shows me that, look, it's still in part of your destiny to have a child, to evolve to a King of Wands. I get that you're going to continue to evolve after that. So it could be stepping up in the company. It's going to be working more efficiently, being easier to work with others. And the Eight of Swords, you're going to be avoiding imprisonment, right? So let me just ask, let me pull 2 more cards with the Eight of Swords just to see what in the hell, because this is what I'm getting is that, yeah, you don't want to put yourself back in purgatory. And that's kind of the state that you were at when you were with her. So I don't think that going back to her is going to be the answer, because you would just have to go through the same cycle over and over again. And like you having to compete with other men is not okay. Justice. Look, the Eight of Swords, which is imprisonment and justice. I feel like you're getting out of something by the hairs of your chinny chin chin. So this is like the perfect time to clean your life up. It really is. Especially before you get into the next relationship, because the next relationship, you don't want to be dragging this stuff through it, right? You want to start out with your best foot forward. And sometimes that means walking away from toxic people, toxic habits, toxic substances, toxicity in every aspect of life. But I get that everything's going to be fine with your work. In fact, by you doing this, you're actually avoiding a 10 of Swords that would have occurred eventually. And this justice looks to me like something's going to be balanced out in your favor, so that you avoid, yeah, something is definitely going to be balanced out in your favor. Let me just look at your chakras. Okay, so the main chakra that I'm feeling out, the 2 main chakras, is the solar plexus and the root chakra. So the solar plexus has to do with how we feel about ourselves, self-confidence, self-worth. And the crown. But I just cleared the crown chakra issue, because again, that was just an issue. It's not like God's actually judging you. It's just your fear of that happening is what was causing you to feel that way. The root chakra is you're not feeling safe. Maybe it's not feeling safe in your body. That's kind of a tough one to deal with, but the more that you keep yourself grounded, the easier it is going to be safe in your body and to feel like your health is on the rise. 2 of Wands. I think that for you to have children and to be a functional person, I think that this is all a good thing. The 2 of Wands talks about creating a better world. It also talks about new projects, new adventures, acting decisively. There are so many people, like you just have to take it for how many other people on this planet have done the same thing that you're doing, like going through the process of getting help, and how much it's changed their lives. This is why I will always tell you guys to go to therapists, to go to doctors, to go to psychiatrists, to go to all of it. Like if you feel like you need help, because it's okay to not be okay as long as we're not doing everything by ourselves. I think when we think that we have to do everything by ourselves, it's a very overwhelming feeling. I'm also getting that you may get inspired while you're in there to invest in doing something besides the business that you already do. The Star, possibly with a trait or talent that you already have, which the stars always come, like almost in every reading that I do for you, the Star comes out. So yeah, I feel like you're getting out of something just in the right amount of time. And this is how I can tell you are a deeply intuitive person, because the universe was kind of showing you like, hey, it's time to let go of this. It's time to give up on doing this. Let's get one more. 6 of Wands, the Star and the 6 of Wands. Look, if you go back to whatever you were working on before you met her, if this is a book, if it was a social media thing, you're going to have fame and success. It's like, it already feels like that's already set up for you. Plus, the work that you do, you know, you want to enter into this new stage of your life being confident in yourself and knowing that the work that you do does matter and it does make a difference. So yeah, I do get that the people at your work, they do care about you. So if they ask you, when you go back to work, if they ask you where you've been, just say that you had to go on a sabbatical, you had to take a spiritual break to set your mind right. I mean, I wouldn't even tell anybody anything, but if they press you about it, Page of Cups, just be aware there may be somebody in the company that wants to rise higher, and they think that with a you out of the way that they can do this. This person's younger than you, by the way. They're not going to be able to take your place, though. And this person is also extremely emotional person. It's going to be 30 days. Well, I think you've been with this company long enough to deserve at least 30 days. Yeah. And because it's an outpatient thing, if they have to contact you with any like issues, you know, not with what you're doing, but like, you know, when you leave your job and somebody else does what you do, they may have questions. If they have to contact you, you'll still be able to communicate with them. So, you know, like the first 3 days of it may be the hardest because of the physical aspect. Once you get past that physical aspect, something was on my phone. Once you get past that physical aspect, it's going to be much easier. It's just not going back into the thoughts and beliefs that were not serving you to begin with. I think that that's a very important thing. And yeah, taking her back. I mean, I don't get that she wants to come back, but taking her back would be just really bad. It would be really bad. So I think that you're doing the right thing. You know, make sure that you start eating, okay? Make sure that you start eating. Start paying attention to when you put food in your body, how does it make you feel? Start praying over your food. Though, because we know that you have been dosed with witchcraft, and I've cleared a lot of it, but there's all this time before I knew you that you could have been dosed with with witchcraft. You know what I mean? So I think that, you know, this is probably a very good thing for you. And also, I'm very proud of you. If nobody's told you that they're proud of you, I am so proud of you, because you doing this is going to change your life for the better. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. So just make sure that, you know, you may want to start journaling, start a gratitude journal, focus on positivity every time that they've got, you know, like a group therapy thing going on. If you feel good enough, go to it. Talk about it. Talk with other people that have the same thing that's going on. Why do I say that? Because it does help to share experiences. Then when you meet people who are on the same track of getting sober, it's a lot easier to maintain that sobriety because you have support from a community. And so I think that this is a really good thing. And yeah, it's not going to lead to you being terminated or anything like that, but I do get that you going back and whatever it was that you were doing before you met Jackie and stopped doing like the things that you loved, I would look back into doing that again. That's because it's really important for you to engage in things that make you feel good. And I feel like this is just the very beginning of the rest of your life being better. Also, with you still wanting a wife and children, you want to make sure that these types of issues are cleared up before you even go into that next step of your life, that next phase, because you don't want to be having to pay for, like, children are just way expensive. I don't know if anybody can predict an amount that children cost, but they do cost a lot, right, to take care of. So you want to just make sure that you are financially stable. And that, of course, we always want to find somebody that's good to have children with, genetically and then relationship wise. Okay. And so some people, they have children and I think it's all divine plan. But they have children with people that are toxic, that are not going to be good parents, but you have the opportunity to become a very good parent, a very good person, somebody that's a good person in society. And, on the days that after you go to your treatments, if your church, the church that you used to go to with Jackie, if they've got, I don't know, what do churches call gatherings, like meetups, or I know Catholics call it mass, but if they've got a service, it's a service. If they've got services, I would suggest that you go to a service and start incorporating community and church, because all of these little things that we're talking about will help keep you on track. And then even if, God forbid, I'm not speaking this into creation, but even if something were to happen, you were to, accidentally relapse, then you would still have a support system, which would be doctors. It would be people that you are in therapy with. It could be people from NA, which is Narcotics Anonymous. It could be also people from church. So you want to build like a cushioning around you of people that are supportive. And also you may meet somebody in church. You may meet somebody in church, literally, and end up building a life with them. So I would say to definitely, you're not making a bad choice. Your job's not a threat. There is one younger person at work that wants to just move up in the company, but they don't have the skill set that you have. So they're not going to be able to do that. And if they even attempt to do your job while you're gone, they're going to run into issues. Because it's like the people in the company, they know you and they know that you can be trusted. So yeah. But I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you. You're going to do really well, And remember that just take it one day at a time. Don't think too far into the future, and don't think into the past. Past equals pain, future equals fear. And remember, fear a lot of the times is false evidence appearing real. I mean, and this is why when it comes to the what ifs, what if this happens? What if that happens? I used to be a what if person. And then I had to literally retrain my brain with the techniques from the Truth of God, but I had to retrain my brain so that I would stop being like, well, what if this and what if that? Because all the what ifs never ever ended up happening. And so unless you see a bear coming at you from the distance, okay, and even then, do not be afraid. Know that if you're not seeing anything that's like a direct threat, then whatever fear you're experiencing is invalid, okay? So remember the false evidence appearing real, that is it. Fear is a real emotion, but sometimes the stimulus to it is not a real situation. So I think you're going to do amazing. I think you're going to do amazing. And I'm really proud of you. And yeah, going back to the past is not what you need to do. Like I was getting that if you just go back and you start healing everything from the relationship with Jackie, I think that's going to put you into a place where you can succeed. You told Jackie today you haven't seen her in 7 to 10 days. Well, that's probably good. And she was the first person that you admitted it to. Well, stay away from her for now. I would love for her to get it together and then be a legit person. She looked so horribly disappointed in you. Wow. But how does she have any room to talk? That's okay. I'm not disappointed in you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you're actually getting help. A lot of people will just allow the situation to go on and on and on and not ever get help. So by you getting help, you're taking actions towards a better future. So yeah. Yeah, you're going to be just fine. You are fine. And I would be working with affirmations as well. Yeah, we're all proud of you. And you are so loved, okay? So remember that you have been through so much stuff. I am proud of you. Absolutely. It takes a lot of courage to admit that you have a problem, and then it takes a lot of even more courage to go get help with it. And so, yeah, I feel like this is a step forward. This is a big thing. It's a big deal. I would not feel sad at all. Look, this is the beginning of your happily ever after. That's how I would look at it. Definitely the beginning of your happily ever after. Because You don't want to start a family with having an addiction. I mean, people do. They do that, but it's not ever good for the kids and it's not good for the family. Well, when you pray with gratitude. I used to look, I have come from spaces where I've been like, I wish I was dead, especially getting denied assistance from the government when there is so much more evidence to prove that I'm disabled than not evidence, like, and the judge was not able to prove that I'm not disabled because he was an idiot. I was literally for days, I lost my voice, screaming and crying, I wish I was dead, please kill me, God, please kill me. So I definitely know where that energy comes from. And it's just when people break you down, they break your spirit, you know. And so you gotta, like, for me, yeah, it took medication, it took, you know, days and days in bed, but eventually I was able to get out of bed. And obviously I'm still going to fight because, like I said, the judge did not, there's so much more evidence, so many other doctors and so much more evidence to prove that I'm disabled that literally proves it than anything that doesn't prove it. So, you know, and this is why when you fight for yourself, things will turn around. Ideally, if I could just make enough money to not have to be on disability, then that would be the ideal situation. For you, you're not facing any type of financial hardship, which I think is a huge blessing. In fact, I get that once you're not spending money on these substances, you're going to have a lot more money. And then you can put that away for when you start a family and start being, you know, more serious about your life. Apparently everyone knew for months. Well, that's okay. That's okay. You know, I probably didn't pick up on it because that's not something that I would look for, but I think that getting help is totally okay. Yes. Yes, you can. So send your question in. I'm going to answer Kiwi Kid's question really quick. Let me go back to it. Okay. So I can't teach you the God technique because then other people would not buy the book, but I will tell you where it's located in the book. Let's see. All right, I think that it's, oh, here it is. Okay, so the little intro that goes into the God technique, I want you to go to page 78. That's like a little intro that goes into the God technique. And then let me go to the intuitive. It's in the back. The intuitive workbook. Okay, so the mind technique is another one that you really want to do. That one is in the back of the book. Give me 1 second, you guys. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So now I'll set the timer. Okay, Kiwi kids, so you want to go to page 260. Well, like I was saying, page 78 gives you a gist of the God technique, but to actually make the connection, you want to go to, it's like literally the last page, the page before the last page. So page 260, you're going to see some highlighted portions where it says, highlighted and bold. It says ingrain. Does that serve me? The does that serve me part talks about the mind technique. Okay. I know that this is new to you. So I'm gonna manually connect you. But you want to recite after it says, does that serve me? And you want to state the next part of that sentence. It's on page 260. The I am God having this experience. So once you understand that sentence, okay, so if you can go to page 260, look at that sentence, and I want you to read it out loud. Because when you do, it's going to change your perspective, basically. And I'm going to help you connect the first time. So we're doing it together. So we're reminding ourselves of who we actually are, that we're not this physical body. By we saying, I am God, we are tapping in with our higher self. We're reminding that we're not this physical body. We're having this experience. Looking out through these. And then also into your thoughts. So it says, I have given this information to many that have got it at the time, but did nothing with it. This is talking about the intuitive part. I would see them later and could tell by the things that they were still going through and the classes they still thought they needed to continue their spiritual journey. That the head knowledge, right? Because it's head knowledge at first. And then once you have experiences using it, it becomes heart knowledge. Or that the head knowledge had not been embraced and used. So you want to ingrain anytime you have any type of thought, right? You want to do the mind technique and ingrain that questioning your thoughts. By becoming aware of your thoughts, then you can question them and then you can start to clear them out, right? And then you use that next sentence. Yeah, I can feel that you were just connected. You were just connected. So you see how it's like you can feel clarity. You'll know you're connected when you say this statement and you start to feel the clarity. It says, use the tools given until they are not needed. So anytime that you start to feel like a downward spiral or you start to feel the energy, because what I do know about you, Kiwi Kid, is that you are very, very empathic, which means if somebody just thinks about you, there are some people who are empaths to the point where, like, if they go through walking through Walmart, they're going to pick up energy from everyone there. You're the type of empath that if somebody's thinking about you, you're going to pick up on it. So I would be using this, the I am God, having this experience looking out through these eyes. I'd be using that technique every time you start to feel somebody else's energy so that you can remind yourself of who you are. And then remember, it says use the tools that are given until they're not needed. So if any troublesome thoughts come up, especially ones that you think are not yours, because with you being able to telepathically pick up on what other people are thinking, especially when they're directing their thoughts towards you or thinking on you, you're going to be able to detach your energy from theirs. And that way it's, you know, not only connecting so that you are connected with your higher self, but it's also changing your consciousness so that you have the ability to take control over the mind, where the mind before was trying to control you. So it says, love your fellow man and all of your creation. This is like literally something that Jesus would say. And all of your creation, from you being God looking out, you want to be loving, giving that unconditional love. I call it dirt love. Why do I call it that? Not because it's dirty, but because it's the same love. Like, I give everything in my creation unconditional love. That means the dirt that's outside. Some people think that unconditional love is so personal, but when you're looking out through the eyes of your higher self and you are connected, it is so easy for you to give unconditional love to everything in creation, just because it's a part of God's creation and that you get to experience it. So like, I would not consider me giving love to the literal dirt outside to be personal, right? But it is including that part of the earth in our creation. And then it says, love your fellow man and all of your creation, and everything will become the utopia that the prophets have been foretelling from the beginning of the three-dimensional time, because they have always been speaking of the time that you get it, right? Know yourself as God, and you do it, being those qualities of God. So yeah, I would, and also anytime that a thought comes into your mind that you are like, I don't want to come into agreement with this thought, you want to go to the mind technique, okay, which is on page 223. And you're basically going to take that thought and nip it right in the bud so that it doesn't keep going. Because the thing is that we will create thoughts and beliefs that are not in alignment with our higher self, not in alignment with just anything that's positive. Like, I'm ugly, or I'm stupid, or sometimes the thoughts and beliefs are not even ones that we're creating. It's ones that we've heard people tell us over and over again. So those are the techniques. The mind technique starts on page 221. Those are the main ones. And then the joy versus anger is going to be so freeing for you, because when you can ask those instantaneous questions, like with the joy versus anger technique, you can ask those instantaneous questions and get an answer back. Then you go, okay, well, now I can discern. Says you're drawing the supposed life lessons by the thoughts that you think and the belief systems that you're carrying around with you. That's why doing the mind technique is so important. But I would literally use all of the techniques in the book. Going back here to intuitive techniques, how to be clear. So I would go to page 193 as well, because all intuitive responses come from somewhere, so that you understand how your intuition works, right? And so you can ask, did this thought come from God or not God? I don't like to say the devil. I don't like to say demons. I would just identify it. Either it came from God or it didn't, whether it's a person, a situation, or a thought or belief. But yeah, the path to knowing our true self as God, one of peace, unconditional love, compassion, and joy. The essence that flows through all creation is this. While on the path, if our focus is on unconditional love, which unconditional love is the love that you would give to a family member. The dirt's energy is happy. Exactly. Yes. And if you don't, you know what? Don't be afraid. There's one thing that the Bible says continuously. Do not be afraid. Okay? Because there's nothing for you to fear. Once you have this information, there's literally nothing can do anything to you. So yeah, the essence that flows through all of creation is this, the unconditional love, joy, and peace. While on the path, if our focus is on unconditional love, gratitude, compassion, and joy, all in alignment with peace, we will experience a smooth, uplifting journey. And yet staying detached from the negative thoughts. And that's what, remember how I always tell you guys that the other side goes, Okay, now you've cleared the thought. You've gotten rid of the thought that was not benefiting you, something negative about yourself or something that doesn't feel good. Now don't go back into the, once you throw it away, don't go back into the trash can and pick that thought out and use it again. So for me, I have been under witchcraft attack the majority of my life, like in extreme ways. Okay. And so when I pick up that somebody's trying to send negative energy, I remind myself not to go back into that trash can and pick the stuff that I've already thrown away back up and try to use it again, right? I go, no, I've gone past this. Same thing, like how by using the God technique, I have been able to evolve from having to burn sage all of the time. And, you know, also check your yard for stuff. If you keep finding random little objects in your yard, that is not a good thing. But yeah, staying detached from the negative thoughts and just allowing the essence to flow into our creation and not manipulating or trying to control it. A certain type of experience will produce the journey most in line with our true self, which is going to be neutral in the sense that it's going to be whatever we want to label it to be. It'll have compassion, unconditional love, joy, and peace. So it'll be positively charged. So that's a perspective of God starting on 187. And then the art of creation. I know I have written about creation as acting as if whatever you are desiring is already here. Believe in what you're asking for and enjoying it now. But I have a method that I have the most success with. Once you get to the point of knowing the feeling of peace and focus with love and joy that you get. So sometimes if you're having a hard time conjuring up these feelings, basically of love, joy, and peace, start to think about a pet, a family member, something that gives you like because we give our family members, we give our pets unconditional love. A dog may crap in the house, but you still love the dog, right? Like, so that's what unconditional love is. Unconditional love is the love that you give yourself. You may be looking in the mirror and not happy with what you see, but the unconditional love is loving yourself anyways. Same way that a family member would love you. In your case, you have parents that are not showing unconditional love, they're showing conditional love. So that's where I think focusing on a pet, focusing on how you feel about yourself is going to be a very good, strong creation point. And then once you can, basically, you keep reminding yourself of who you are, this infinite, positively charged, loving being that has always existed, that is beyond time and beyond restriction. When you continually connect with God, you can pull that feeling up at will because God is all of those positive things. And while you're doing that, while you're feeling that unconditional love, I would apply that. I would just be going like, applying that to all of the things that you want to work on in your life. So when you remind yourself of who you are as God, and you can pull that feeling up at will, you can imagine something you would like to see in your reality and then evoke that feeling so that it becomes part of that image. And it's the strongest creation moment that you can have as a person when you realize who your true self is. So I would use the mind tool when any thoughts come up that you're like, okay, what was that? Sometimes the thoughts are just happening and we're being a participator in them rather than like an observer. When we become the observer and we go, I just caught that thought. I don't think I want that thought. I don't think that's going to create positive effects. I want to read this one part. It says, I want to read the keeping the positive flow, keeping the connection, because I feel like this is where you're at right now. I have looked for methods to keep my thoughts positive throughout the day. I found that when I keep my output positive, I am continually surprised by the positive experiences that come into my creation that I would have never imagined. That's why having expectations and trying to control everything and thinking that we know the answer and that we have to have it a certain way blocks us. It really does. Let's get the likes up, you guys, please, and thank you. So I have had this experience where I've released like an expectation that I put onto, it is sad for everyone who has conditional loving parents. Yeah, it is so sad. That's because it's like growing up in a narcissistic household. And I have compassion for anybody that was raised by a narcissist, because I know what that energy feels like. So feeling gratitude works well. It works very well. This is why I speak about gratitude journals. And when it comes to gratitude, don't focus on the things that you think you should be grateful for. If you have, like, let's say you have an old beat up car outside and you're like, I'm grateful for my car. Don't manually try to force yourself to feel grateful. Just pick the things that you actually feel grateful for and focus on that, because it's like a generator. It generates very positive emotions. So feeling gratitude works well, but I found that I am more successful maintaining that output when I have unconditional love for all. See everything as God. See me as God, see you as God, see the blade of grass outside, the tree outside, the dirt, all of it is made up of God's energy. See everything as God, or bathe in the light of God. Not only those things that I can feel grateful for, but everything in my own experience, including my physical body, which is really a part of that entire creation. Even though we're not our bodies, it's still a part of the creation. So it's no coincidence that positive or good is represented as light and negative or evil is represented as dark, the absence of light. To be honest, there's balance. You have to have one without the other. For you even to be able to perceive light, like vision wise, there has to be contrast. There has to be darkness. Okay, for light to take a form and a definition. So not looking at darkness as it's the worst thing in the world. Know that it's a necessary part of creation. So in our God's creation, light is the highest representation of God. Holding our creation in the light is a way of experiencing the joyous feeling continuously. Like when you come across another person, acknowledge the God within them. Namaste, namaste, right? That's what namaste means, by the way. If you didn't know, it is, to me, it seems like it's a Eastern concept, because the namaste symbol is like a Sanskrit symbol, but doing it all the time. Like, I recognize the God within you and within myself. Connection with God is here and now. From the perspective of God, you, okay, looking out through your human eyes, having this experience, all you perceive is you. So this is where we're talking about, really, the God technique starts on page 181. All that you experience and perceive is you. During Namaste, there is not a separate version of you staring back. When you see everything as love, you are seeing you. These tools I have used after years of practice. Yours may be different. They may be simple. Eventually, you see that the path is simple. Remind yourself in the morning or throughout the day that you are God having this experience, acting as if it already is, because it already is. I found that this is a great tool to get being refocused in my true being. I do use it throughout the day multiple times, because I have certain triggers that come up at different times. So I will say, to use it to get your day going in the right direction, I would definitely use the technique when you get up. And then 2, start with a meditation that brings your awareness into sync with yourself, God, love, joy, and peace. And that can be contemplating, thinking on, it could be even making a list of all of the things that that remind you of that peace, and quieting the mind. Okay, when the mind is quiet, the consciousness expands. So next, with a soft focus, view this creation using the mind as a tool, because again, we're taking back control of the mind. And quieting the mind. When you can quiet the mind, you'll be aware of what you're thinking. That's one thing I've noticed with using these techniques. So the next, with a soft focus, which means that you're not trying to force it. You're allowing it to happen naturally. View this creation, looking out through the eyes of source, everything that you can see. View this creation and feel the love that makes up all parts of it, including your body, including this body, because it is God looking out through, and imagine this third eye is also an eye that God is looking out through. I think that's an important part. I don't think it says it in the book, but that's what I've definitely noticed, is that it aligns that. So yeah, including your body, you want to include your body, right, as being the essence of God. The art of creation. I know that I've written a lot about creation, acting as if whatever you are desiring is already here and that you're enjoying it now. You can do this within your imagination. Okay. Like, what would it, if, let's say you want to manifest a car, what would it feel like to be in that car? What would that feeling of you already having it, you driving it, you getting to experiment with all of the little buttons and knobs in it? That's just an example, right? But if it were to be anything, like say, let's say you want a pet, or let's say you want a girlfriend, thinking about what is it going to feel like when you have somebody? That's the feelings that you want to start putting into. Well, there is a chapter that calls the spiritual bank. You want to start putting it into the spiritual bank because that's what you're going to be able to enjoy in the future. And you act as if you have it now by imagining that you do and what it's going to feel like, what it does feel like having it. But I have a method that I have the most success with. Once you get to the point knowing that the feeling of peace and focus with love and joy that you get right after reminding yourself who you are, God, as God, and can then pull that feeling up at will, you can imagine something you would like to see in your reality. This is a very powerful point of creation here. When you're connected, you can start to visualize what you want to see in your reality and then evoke that feeling so that it becomes part of that image. That is more powerful than doing a vision board, than making a list, than doing anything else. It is the strongest creation moment that I have found. From the human consciousness viewpoint, it may seem like we may become disconnected, but we never can be. I look at it this way, that technique is like building it's like a muscle that's always been there within you, but just hasn't been focused upon. And then once you start working that muscle, like taking it to the gym, then it continues to work and evolve. So yeah, if anything comes up throughout the day, I would use it in the morning, get your mind clear. Then if anything comes up through the day, use the other techniques, use the mind technique, and remember to be asking yourself, does it serve you? Because I can guarantee if something's making you not feel good, it doesn't serve you to hold on to it. And we can never be disconnected from God. It's not possible. But we can be not tuned into it. Think of it like a radio frequency. Once you turn that radio on to God's station, you have opened up a channel within yourself so that your frequency matches the frequency of the real you, which is God. The awareness of that connection is what becomes disconnected. And that's only because it's not focused upon. So yeah. I would go through reading the entire book, but that's where you want to start with that. The spiritual bank is going to teach you how to mold your reality so that the experiences that you're wanting to have start showing up. And with little to no effort, because you're just including them in that love, joy, and peace that you have. And then also page 119 goes into creating your reality with your thoughts and your beliefs. Okay. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards for you really quick. I want to get at least 3 to see with your connection. The Page of Cups. Let's see, what is this saying? What I'm getting from this, the Page of Cups energy, is about you being really honest with yourself. When it comes to your thoughts, when it comes to your beliefs, and then when it comes to the way that you view yourself, be very honest with yourself. Be open to being honest with yourself. I also get that you have an ability, and it's an artistic one that you may not be aware of. I do get that you are so empathic. See, the Page of Cups is a very empathic person. And I'm not getting necessarily that you're outgoing and charismatic in the sense that like a cult leader would be, but I do get that you do have a level of charisma. So taking into consideration that you do have skills and you do have abilities and you do have gifts. Everybody does. So also be aware that there may be somebody that comes in to help inspire you to become creative. 8 of Cups. So you're definitely walking away from something that's not serving you. And it may be that you're feeling like disappointed, but like I said, the more that you remind yourself that you're God, you can literally do anything. And the more that you clean up the thoughts and beliefs that are keeping your vibration low, and then it doesn't say this in the book, but I have found that after you clear the thoughts and beliefs that are not serving you, by affirming what you do want, you know, getting it moving in a new direction, I feel like that's a very powerful thing. Also, I feel like if you had to relocate to a new place, I don't feel like that would be a bad thing, because the energy around where you live is not great. So I would be doing, anytime you pick up on a negative thought form, because it feels to me like there's some Native American stuff that happened around where you're at. Anytime you pick up on a negative thought form. Okay. And releasing, remember, we're releasing the walls. By you doing the God technique, the walls are going to come down. Okay. But I get that. Let me just ask, is there anything that has to do with denial? So if you are called to walk away from a place or a situation, know that God is bringing something in. Your higher self, yeah, the Hermit. I feel like it's just isolating away from certain types of people. You going within, this is what's going to change the outcome of everything. And literally you doing the God technique. So you may find that you have to do the God technique multiple times a day. Okay. That's what I have found. Every time that I do it, I'm like always thinking, it's so funny. It says possible vacation or sabbatical. Follow your heart, not the crowd. I think that you know that too. The Chariot. See, look, it's something, and I've been picking up on you getting a vehicle in some type of way. So I think that that would be an answer, but it's not going to be the entire answer. So going within, you are basically unblocking yourself, and you're opening a pathway for new creative expression. Yes, happiness is self-created. Yeah. I'm liking the Chariot card, though. Look, the Chariot says, the card of success, confidence, and determination, victory over any illness, enemies, and financial problems. That's like the 3 things that you were facing. Goals achieved through self-control, willpower, and discipline. That's using the techniques from this book. This is how I'm literally getting. It says, focus on the battle at hand. I'm not even getting that you have to fight a battle, because who are you going to fight against? I'm getting that all you have to do is stand up for yourself. And connecting with God is going to basically fill in the rest. Take satisfaction in your accomplishments, but guard against arrogance. Your reputation will be established. Respect is earned. You are worthy of a level of respect, like a humane. I think a big problem with your past is that people have not treated you humanely. That's what I feel like. There may be thoughts or beliefs surrounding that subject that need to be addressed. 10 of Pentacles. Look, moving towards the 10 of Pentacles. This is a beautiful outcome here. This is you being able to fix any issue when it comes to your security. I just heard Social Security. So maybe you need to contact the Social Security Administration and either file a complaint or file something to where they have to reevaluate your situation. Also, you know, if I know with your situation that they're demanding a lot of money, they need to do a reevaluation, because the math is not mathing. It says to buy real estate, plan for long-term gain, not quick returns. Seek a permanent job that will serve your ultimate career goals. This could be something that you do for yourself. So I'm loving this. All right, I want to get one more. 5 of Wands. Don't even think that competition is going to be an issue. I mean, they may say, oh, there's so many people that need this and that. Trust me, the government has the ability to do it. And there will be people that come in to help. The more that you allow the peace that God is to become a part of every, like when I have an issue come up, I take whatever that issue is, because usually my mind will not allow me to like separate myself from the issue. So I just go right into God, and then that issue disappears. And there will be times where I have to use the mind technique as well to get rid of the thoughts that pulled the issue in. And then I know that I have to start thinking a new way. But also vibrationally, as you go through this change, because this book will change your life, as you go through this change, you're going to become, a stable person. What do you do without Irene if she's gone? You move forward, because I promise you that you really don't want to be with somebody that will believe, like I've kind of explained before, you don't want to be with somebody that will just believe random lies from other people over you. Because if your relationship and communication with her was good, and stable and in the right place, there's no way in hell she would have believed. And this is what I'm getting, is that at the time that you were with her, there's not a whole lot of time that you could have been separated from her to cheat. So to me, it's making literally no sense. But yeah, you don't want to be with somebody that believes lies about you. And I personally would not want to be with anybody that just accuses me of cheating without having no evidence. That's insane. I would never, ever, ever break up with somebody without having evidence that they did something wrong, right? Okay. But yeah, especially when it comes to deep relationships. So I feel like you deserve, I feel like you deserve better. And if she can't get past this lie that was spoken about you from somebody that is now known to be an enemy to you, right? This is why it just feels like it's so demonic. And so I have compassion for her, but at the same time, I think that you are worth more. I think that well, it feels like if she's not talking to you and she's not going to answer the phone and she doesn't, yeah, I mean, it feels like she believes, to me, it feels like she believes that you cheated on her. However, I don't know how that's possible. This is how I know that there's some trickery involved, because when you guys were together, you were not really separated long enough for you to be going out and cheating. It's not like you have access to a vehicle to where you could go get in your car and go meet somebody, So to me, it doesn't make any sense how she could even think that. But yeah, I definitely would consider moving on, okay? And then if she comes back, she comes back. But she's going to have to apologize to you, Kiwi Kid. You can't accept bum behavior like that. I wouldn't want you to, because that's extremely abusive. And then just know that there are certain things with the relationship that need to be worked on. Like communication is a big thing, that there was a lot of blockages. And then, to the best of your ability, do not involve other people in your relationship. When it comes to, I pray that she reads your emails as well. When it comes to you having a personal relationship with someone, you want to keep that close to your heart and not be telling anybody, especially because you have a history of people coming in and trying to steal your person, which I think is the fact that demonic plot keeps happening shows to me that you are chosen for something. You're very welcome, and know that I'm always praying for you. I'm always praying for you guys. I want you guys to live the best, happiest, most fulfilled lives that you can. Okay, Tropical Tarot, what was your question? Will you let me know that you're still here? If you're still here. Because I think you said, well, let me just go back through the comments. Give me 1 second. No, this book is called The Truth of God, just to let you guys know. And it is tagged in the products. And it's written by Michael STEADMAN, who's a doctor of divinity. Yes, our love is our natural state of being. I seriously adore that you guys know that, because I feel like for us to not feel good, it's so unnatural. It like goes against the natural things. Wow, do y'all know each other? Kiwi Kid and Tropical Tarot, do you guys know each other? That would be wild. Oh my gosh, what a freaking small world. See, this is how I know God is always involved. The amount of miracles, yes, keep your life quiet. The amount of miracles that I see. Okay, did you have a question, Tropical Tarot? Sorry to ask you to retype it. There was just so many comments for me to go through. But yeah. Okay. So yeah. All right, let's look at that. Let's look at it through the Twin Flame Tarot, because I feel like this is just a really good. Actually, really? Not the Twin Flame Tarot. We're going to get the Romantic Angels. Romance Angels, where are you? Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple of cards from Romance Angels. And then I will look at your question, Kiwi Kid. I love these decks. Okay, so there was this spiritual teacher named Doreen Virtue. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of her. Anyways, she came out with some of the most amazing decks ever, right? Like Oracle cards, the Archangel Tarot, all these amazing decks. And then something happened to her. I don't know what happened to her, but she turned into like a Christian and denounced all of the work that she did. And so you can't even get her decks anymore because she won't print them. But I am so thankful that I still have some of her decks because they're amazing. And I've been using them for years. And I love that it's got the gold on the side. Okay, so we're going to look at it through the lens of the Romance Angels and see what the angelic realm has to say. What I like about these cards is that they represent the different divine aspects of a relationship. Okay, so and then hit the timer. All right, let's cut the deck and see what we've got. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. So right off the bat, and I would be one to be like, no, let it, let it fizzle out. But it seems to me like she's probably not going to leave you alone. So give your relationship a chance. I still feel like you going into the outpatient thing is a really good thing. So this is saying the Romance Angels see that your relationship is worth devoting effort to, although there may be many issues. Okay, so like we already know that. These can be worked through and healed. You'll need to commit to the relationship to ensure the best chance of success. So if you truly want to be with her, then committing to the relationship, getting her to commit to the relationship, that's a whole nother story. But if she's saying that she misses you, I don't get that she's lying. So she does think about you all the time. At the very least, she just needs, like, it's really hard when you're dealing with a bunch of witchcraft. Like, and I will say that with her psychotic, disgusting ass ex, he just keeps sending stuff. And because you guys are not together right now, it's not hitting you, but still, I would like for you to be protected in your relationship. At the very least, if you do end it, you'll know that you gave it your all. That's what I think it's saying here, that by choosing to give your relationship a chance, you're going to be basically, if it doesn't work out, knowing that you gave it your all, and then you can conclude the cycle. but know that you can meet her halfway. But if she doesn't want to meet you halfway, I get that and this is what has, yeah, what did she think about the Coke? Well, do you really want to know? I get that, you know, I don't know if she suspected it, but she had a suspicion that there was something going on. Says you'll also understand the role that you played in its dynamics. In this way, you avoid attracting similar painful situations in the future. This is a very important thing. You receive this card because there's hope for your partnership. The love is still there. And this is one thing that I've always picked up on, is that she does love you. This is why it's been so confusing for me to understand why the whole ex thing kept happening, right? Because she does love you. And then she always shows up as the Queen of Cups, which is a loving, loyal, nurturing person, right? But then that other side of her, when the witchcraft is sent or she communicates with the ex or whatever it is that gets her under the influence of that other person, which is a warlock, by the way, he is a practitioner of black magic, disgusting ass person. His energy makes me feel straight up nauseated. But yeah, this is saying that there's still hope. So yeah, she looked down on you a little bit, but she also feels pity for you. The love is still there. Working with a counselor may be the best option at this point. Remember, you're going into a facility that's going to have therapists readily available. This is a subject that comes up quite often in life. It may not just be about NA, but it could, if you feel like this relationship is the thing that drove you into substance using, then this is something that you want to bring up with the counselors there and ask them their advice. This professional can identify areas of dysfunction and guide you both in healthier directions. I do feel like for the relationship to work, you may want to consider, what is it called? Relationship counseling. Is it called, I think it's called relationship or marital counseling. And so you'll be able to find somebody that offers, you probably just type in marital counselor, I know you guys are not married, but you've been in a relationship long enough for it to be considered a serious relationship. So if there's still love there, if you still have love for her and she still has love for you, just think about it, okay? Couples therapy, thank you. Flirt, extend your lighthearted energy to others. I think that there is a level of flirtation and bringing that lightness back into the relationship because it had become so heavy. Also, don't be falling in love with anybody in the outpatient program. You want somebody that is absolutely healed. Well, I mean, nobody's going to be perfectly healed because we're all human, but you guys, I have been watching these like scenes, these reels or shorts, the little things on YouTube about this new TV show about Jesus. It's called The Chosen. And oh my gosh, these scenes are so freaking good. Like they're life-changing. And, when it comes to your guys' relationship, you just need to know that there's got to be effort on both parts. There we go. So the romance angels guide you to initiate romance with flirtatiousness, which entails smiling with your eyes as you connect with others. It doesn't necessarily involve sexuality, although it can. Flirting is playful in nature. It is a display of lightheartedness, I do feel. So flirting is playing in nature, and the playfulness is the heart of romance. If you're in a relationship, flirting with your partner can revive passion. If you're single, this activity can attract new friendships as well as a new love relationship. Drawing this card can simply mean that making more eye contact with others will help you to connect with people. Yes, absolutely. Eye contact is essential. This is especially true if you smile and say hello more often. Be open to sharing your experiences while you're in this program, especially with your therapist. Everyone you meet is a potential friend, and studies show that most people are introduced to their mates through mutual acquaintances. Therefore, form new friendships both as a way of meeting your partner and to increase the enjoyment of life, because having good, loyal, true friends it feels good, right? To be able to share yourself with others and to have them share themselves with you as well. Chemistry. There's a strong magnetic connection here. Is this okay? That is one card. These are just very thick cards. So look, you do have good chemistry, and good sex is one thing that I've picked up between you guys. And that is an aspect that, you know, having makeup sex is a really powerful reuniting agent. Okay, so you've received this card because you feel a strong dynamic pull towards another person. In other words, you share chemistry with her. This creates intense, pleasurable sensations that draw you to each other. And she's feeling it for you as well. I think that, yeah, I don't feel like she's feeling that she's responsible for the situation that you're in. That's what I'm picking up on. Says, if this person is someone other than your partner in a committed relationship, then the chemistry is probably both a source of stress and escape. You will need to weigh your options and the consequences carefully before or instead of leaving your current partner or embarking on a new affair. If, however, you are single and feel this pull towards another unattracted person, then this card brings you to go ahead, the green light, brings you a go-ahead green light of good news. Yeah, most likely the chemistry is mutual and merits exploration. In some cases, this card may mean that a lack of chemistry is a cause in relationship issues. I'm not getting that with her. And this is what we're talking about, is the relationship with Jackie. So I'm not really getting that. I'm getting that there still is chemistry there. But you just don't want to be pulled back into an old cycle. If there was chemistry initially, it may be restored by devoting effort to the relationship. But remember, she's got to devote effort to it as well. Passion sparks and romance can be revived through playfulness, thoughtfulness, time together, and caring gestures. Calling upon the romance angels to guide you to make this important decision about channeling this chemistry. I think that that's an important thing. Yes. If you do date, do you have to follow rules? Yeah, you pretty much, there are general rules like not cheating on someone. I mean, that's what I think when it comes to dating, but this is not a dating situation. This is a long-term relationship that just has some issues in it. And the issues are this. Look, we're looking at the strengths right here. The flirtatiousness, the chemistry, those are strengths. Free yourself with the unicorn. I love unicorns. It's time to take back control of your life, which is exactly what you're doing. Okay, I love that. Freeing yourself so that, because I feel like you've already faced a really big pain, right? You've already faced it. Says it's time to take back control of your life. Like the unicorn in this image on the card, you may be feeling trapped. See how this unicorn is like surrounded by a fence? You may be feeling trapped by your circumstances, but this is the first step of you freeing yourself. Perhaps you've relinquished control to someone else, or maybe you feel smothered in your career relationship. I think you taking a little bit of time off work is a good thing. As you tune into yourself, you'll sense the specific areas where this message applies to you. And then it says you can even ask yourself, in what ways do I feel limited or constrained? And by doing that, it opens your mind up to be able to answer what's actually there that you feel is constraining you. Trust the answers you receive, obviously. Anytime you ask for answers and you receive them, trust them. This card comes to you from the romance angels because they've heard your call for great love, to experience passion. though you must first allow yourself to feel deep emotions. So remember, numbing yourself is not the way out. Like, this is how a lot of people end up passing away, and that's not going to happen to you. But I mean, obviously everybody eventually will pass away, but it's not, I'm not seeing that in your future or anything. But this is how it's by trying to numb ourselves so we don't feel a certain type of pain or emotion that we end up causing us worse emotions and worse pain. I was watching this channel called, I think it's called The White Underbelly or something like that. And it's got these people who have been through so much trauma. And even though I'm listening to like the most disgusting, depraved shit, like that's coming out of these people's mouth, not to be offensive to that channel, because it's a guy that finds these people who are selling themselves, who are doing different things, and he interviews them. Some of them are victims of that island and stuff like that. But I always find the way that these people pick themselves back up is very inspirational. So it says, to experience passion, though, you must first allow yourself to feel deep emotions. In doing so, and that way you can evaluate the way that you really feel and make an educated decision about what you want to do moving forward. Taking this time, 30 days, I think that's a good amount of time. You could probably figure this all out in less, but yeah, having that little bit amount of time to cushion you. And I get that if you stop spending money on the substances, you'll have more money. You won't have to worry. I don't even get that there's a financial issue. So simply by acknowledging these areas, you bring light to the situation and allow room for the angels to help you, because you do have angels all around you. And I ask that the angels go with you to these places and remove any residual energies that are there. As you commit to taking back control of your life, your feelings will naturally thaw and reawaken. This leads, and that way, after taking this little break, you'll be able to reevaluate the way that you feel. If you still feel like going back to this relationship is the answer, then give it a chance. But if you end up freeing yourself from this cycle and feel like it would be destructive, you just got to listen to your intuition. Because I can't tell you what to do. There is no right or wrong, like, choice. It's just, there's got to be changes made on both parts. Maybe therapy would be something that would help. And also remember church. And I don't prescribe church to people, but for you, having a community of people who are like-minded would definitely help you. So as you commit to taking back control of your life, your feelings will naturally thaw and reawakening. This leads to greater capacity to love yourself, your partner, and your experiences. Okay, let's pull one more card from this deck. I knew that this would have a lot of good information in it. And then you can reevaluate as like, okay, was this relationship just chemistry, or is there still more, like deeper emotions? By you going within and allowing yourself to feel, that's going to be a lead. Keep an open mind. So yeah, look at little Cupid. Isn't he cute? He's so adorable. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type of expectations. Wow. Wow. You may end up meeting somebody in the program, but you just want to make sure that whoever it is that you end up meeting, if you're not thinking about going back to this old relationship, and it's not an old relationship, but the past relationship, you want to just make sure that you guys are both stable. Keep an open mind. You'll be able to tell. You'll definitely be able to tell whether they are or not, because you've been around somebody who's not stable and you know what that feels like. So all of the stuff that you've been through has basically been like showing you what the red flags are and then showing you what you need to work on in your relationship. Okay, this has got to be, let's see, JKL. Okay. Oh, that's sad that I had to even do that. Okay, keep an open mind. So sometimes we think, yeah, well, because I can't tell you what to do, but I will tell you this, after you take this little break, if you still feel that you can't live your life without her, then, you know, if you want to swim uphill, like I said, keep an open mind. Literally, what the card's saying, keep an open mind, because you may end up meeting somebody and having a different experience. But, you know, by you taking this little break, you'll be able to tell. If I was personally in this situation because of the ex, I would probably not be able to deal with that. I was in a relationship where my ex was still in love with their ex, and that was a knife to my solar plexus, my self-worth, the entire relationship. I would never go back into that situation. I feel like you deserve way better, so keep an open mind, okay? Says the romance angel sent you this card as a reminder to stay open to the possibility of your soulmate appearing in a form that may differ from what you expect. This is especially true if you tend to date a certain type of individual. And I've talked about this before. When we think we have a type, usually that type, sometimes it can be fine for us, but sometimes if it's a general type, like, you know, some people don't date outside their race or their culture. But if it's a general type, but if it's a type that's like toxic, then that's you want to detach from thinking that's what your type is, right? So you drew this card to help you discover your soulmate. This card may signal that you have already been introduced to this person, but have overlooked his or her romantic potential. Okay, is that the case? Take the time to get to know the various individuals that you meet. Even if there isn't an initial attraction, at the very least, you will learn more about yourself and make a new friend. And making new friends is always a good thing. Especially with you having had the friends from the past that were not loyal people. I literally just felt an angel run in here. Run in the room that I'm in. Actually, I feel one standing behind me. Okay. Keep an open mind and remember deception. What do we have here? I don't even know what the hell's going on in this picture. This is kind of creepy. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. But you already know that because when the mask slips, you see her true character. And I'm not going to say demonic, but we know that it's under the influence of low vibrational energies. Look, the thing is with this relationship, there's only a couple things that are really not favorable about it. So I can't tell you what to do, but I will tell you this, to express yourself while you're there, make new friends, you know, don't be all to yourself. Know that everybody in the place that you're going is going to be going through similar things. And where this deception is, we can't change other people. So what you do may be different than what I would do, because I've already lived through going through a 10-year, well, no, actually it was 9 years, but yeah, a 9-year relationship with somebody that was in love with their ex, that was obsessed with them and treated me like a piece of garbage, basically, because of it. So it says this card is a loving nudge for you to beware of deception within a relationship, which we already know about the deception. We know about the ex. So this is something that you really need to think on. It's not an easy choice. If you still have feelings for her, it makes it a difficult choice. But there was, in the one that I was in, there was so much lies and deception, so many delusions that were created. I mean, this person had me pinned against another person for no reason. So this could involve something mild, such as the run-of-the-mill politeness, where your partner is afraid of offending you by sharing true feelings. Perhaps you are the one wearing the mask. I'm not getting that you are, because you aren't disclosing something to your partner. If that's the case, you just got to think about, well, if there is something you haven't disclosed to her, then that is being deceptive. And so when you think about having a relationship with somebody, the energy that you give them and then the energy that they give you, if you give other people shit energy, they're going to give you shit energy, right? Like that's just kind of how the law of attraction works. But having the witchcraft as an extra like thing, I think this is why it makes this situation very difficult to make a decision on. Because if the witchcraft wasn't present and the situation with the ex wasn't present, I think all of the other little issues, like her not being ready to have kids and get married, etc., I think all those littler issues would literally fizzle out naturally. So, it's just that one thing of feeling if you can trust her or not. I mean, that's a big thing. But it seems like she's missing you and you're missing her, and so it's like it's hard. Says that deep down you know what this card pertains to. So there may be something deep down that you need to reevaluate. The romance angels are trying to protect your heart, which I feel like has been damaged. But that doesn't mean, just because you've been hurt doesn't mean, just because your heart feels broken now, and this is me empathically feeling, doesn't mean that you cannot repair it. Please say this invocation either silently or loud. Romance angels, I ask that you give me very clear guidance that I can easily notice and understand to reveal the truth about this situation to my conscious awareness. Then notice and trust the signs that follow. If you see angel numbers, look up the interpretation. And you take whatever you're doing at the time that you see the angel number and then apply that to the interpretation. This card is also a reminder to you about the importance of being genuine with your partner. So coming with a contrite, honest, and open heart. I think that may just be something that helps her open up to do the same thing. Now, we can't control what she does and we can't control the ex situation. Those are two things that I feel like it just feels like to me, Tropical Tarot, like it's not fair that you have to go through, like you must be somebody very special because it just doesn't feel fair to me that you have to go through this stuff. It doesn't feel fair. It feels out of balance, to be quite honest. You deserve somebody really good. And I think that she has a lot of qualities that you like, but then there are certain flaws to the relationship because the chemistry is there, the flirtation is there. You feeling bound or restricted in any type of way, that's not a good feeling. So you are, by doing what you're doing to go to get help, you're freeing yourself from a cycle. So I would keep an open mind and just, asking. You can come back to this reading and read and restate the affirmation of romance angels. I ask that you give me very clear guidance that I can easily notice and understand to reveal the truth about this situation to my conscious awareness. I would be saying that every day and then be looking for the signs because they will be there. This card is also a reminder to you about the importance of being genuine with your partner. Also, discussing your true feelings may be uncomfortable, but it will improve the relationship on many levels. So if she was willing to go to counseling, with you, then I would say that would be the first step towards you having a useful relationship with her. One that's productive, that's moving in the right way, the right direction at least, right? Honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. And so remember when you were on vacation with her and there was a long group of days that went just fine? I think that's the cycle that we're looking at here. So if church, if therapy could help this situation, because again, the one thing that I keep getting is we can't control other people, but we can control ourselves. So it's something to think of. This card indicates the need for a getaway to nurture romantic love. So this could also be you taking this break and not overworking yourself, because I think you were overworking a little bit. The specific application of this message depends upon the person who is inquiring. For some, this card has a literal meaning that you are going away with your new spouse following your wedding, but that's not what's happening here. For those already in a long-time partnership, this card speaks to reigniting the spark by taking a romantic holiday. And that's what it felt like when you guys took that romantic holiday, that it did re-spark the passion and everything. But the issue of deception and not being loyal, or the ex being involved in whatever way, I think that that's the thing that's really effed things up. So yeah, it can also relate to the honeymoon period of a new relationship. And for still others, this card indicates that you will meet someone special while on a vacation. Like I was saying, you may meet somebody in therapy or in the place that you're going to. So yeah, you just need to ask for clarity and then really think about, this is how I would look at it. When I asked myself, first of all, when I was with my ex, I realized all of a sudden that I didn't love myself. So I had to get rid of that relationship so that I could love myself. And then I started loving myself. And then after that, I drew in somebody completely different than that person. And just knowing kind of like where you're at when it comes to loving yourself, being there for yourself. And if you can't, thinking of it, this is how I think about relationships. If there's somebody that I want to be with, and if I can't love them the way that they are right now, with nothing being changed, nothing being fixed, nothing without them doing what I say or what I ask or whatever, then I won't be with them. And I do that. Has she watched this? No, I don't think so. I'm not getting that. But yeah, like and this is a general rule, something that you just learn is that you can't change other people. So if you can't accept her the way that she is right now with everything included and can't be with that, then that's kind of an answer, because you know that you can't change someone else. But in the same way, if there is somebody if that could help, like a counselor or a therapist or whatever, and she was open to that, I don't want you to end up feeling like, oh, I should have given that relationship another chance. I want you to be very sure in the choice that you make. Yeah, I will pull one card. Finances and career. Interesting that came out. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So I don't get that finances are, but let's see what it says. Money and love have historically been linked. Okay, so money could be a factor in her life right now. That's what I'm getting. So, okay, so what this is reminding you is that you have a lot of money. You have money and resources. She makes a lot of money, but she doesn't have as much for whatever reason. Okay, her motivation to getting back with you could be based upon finances and career. So that's what I'm picking up. The romance angels want to disentangle you from financial or career pressures so that you may enjoy every aspect of your life, including romance. While work can be a source of heart-opening satisfaction, it must be balanced with other facets of love, such as playfulness and laughter. So you received this card because you'd benefit from an infusion of lightheartedness, which came up actually with the flirt, with the keep an open mind, and with the finances. Call upon the angels to elevate, and there are money angels as well you can call upon. Archangel Sachiel helps with every financial issue. Call upon the angels to elevate your mood, energy levels, finances, career, and anything else that will bring you peace. So calling upon help, I think, is a very good thing. And then taking the help that's given to you at this place that you go. And, you can always test it out. Test the spirit, I would say. Test the spirit. Because, like I said, let's say that if she were not to want to change anything or to do anything, right? Where it's at right now is that you still have feelings for her. She still has feelings for you. But there were things that were problematic in the relationship. Okay. Deception, basically. That was problematic in the relationship. So I would say taking that as a lesson of you can't change other people. So if you can't accept her for the way that she is now without any changes, then I can't tell you not to be with her, but that's kind of how it goes. Don't waste your time on somebody thinking that you can change them when change is only going to happen on their time, right? Especially when we're dealing with adults. I mean, children are impressionable, but adults are very hard to get to change, to move in a new direction. And that's in general. That's literally in general. Someone who is not as insane. Yeah. You better close that door before God swaps places. But yeah, also remember the last time you were around her, what happened? You totaled your car. That's to me frightening. This is so weird. Now that I think of it, I actually had an experience where I did total my car and I was around the wrong person. I had left the one person that was not good for me. I had left them and got with somebody else. And then lo and behold, just a little bit after that, boom, totaled my car leaving their house. And the universe was like, stay away from this person. They're going to destroy you. That's what I got. And I'd never, after that, never talked to that fool again. I'm so grateful that person helped me to the hospital though, because that was not cool. Yeah, we can absolutely inspire adults to heal. Okay, so, and again, you know, it would be good if she chose you and release the ex. Okay. And no, I don't get that she's watched this. I mean, that would be really crazy. Okay, I'm trying to go back to your question, Kiwi Kid. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay. Please block out all black magic in Irene and my life. Block out all bad people. Well, doing the God technique, you basically just rose above it. On all black, bad, yeah, so I can clear energy, but I can't. These are like requests that only only God can do, literally, because I can't make choices for Irene. If she chooses to align with people that do black magic on her, I can't do anything about that. And then, but let me look at the roaches thing. Yes, I can do something about that. The ants and roaches. Okay. They're being projected into your apartment. Okay. So remember when I was talking about cleaning your apartment, like going through, I don't know if you know anything about feng shui, Kiwi Kid, but feng shui is an extremely powerful method. Keep doing the God technique. Okay. Anytime that you feel any type of witchcraft, when you connect with God's energy, witchcraft can't exist, but we can't control other people. If I could just bust out a wand and be like, no more bad things would ever happen, I would have done that already for myself. But let's see, okay, with the ants and roaches, I'm definitely getting Beelzebub energy. So, I'm getting also flies, like flies, flying insects. Okay, so let me just see what in the heck. Why is Beelzebub's energy inside your house? Let me kind of just do a remote view scan. Okay, what's going on inside the house? Why would somebody be working with Beelzebub? Who is that? Okay, I'm getting that, first of all, you've got a neighbor, you've got at least one neighbor that that practices Satanism or something like that. Something that has to do with Beelzebub. So Beelzebub's energy is around there. In fact, I think all of the places where you're at are infested. But it is an annoyance, disgusting, pestilence, like nasty ass energy. Okay, so what I'm getting is that that part is not actually coming from some, like, that's coming from a neighbor that's drawing that into their reality, and what they're drawing in, gosh, I hate to say it, but it's Beelzebub's energy. They're drawing that into their reality. Are they knowingly doing it? It feels like they are. Let me just see. 1 second. What in the hell? So yeah. Okay. So it says on the internet that Beelzebub is the Lord of Flies. There was a book that was called something like that. Was it called that? Oh my gosh. No, it was called something like that. Okay, I will answer your question, Tropical Tarot, after I get rid of this situation. Okay, so look, it represents gluttony and pride, and it's attached to something of the Order of the Fly, which sounds like more flying demonic entities. You know, it's giving in the Wizard of Oz, the monkeys with wings. Okay, so you've got a neighbor. How well do you know your neighbors? Kiwi Kid, how well do you know your neighbors? Do you know your neighbors at all? I'm getting this is coming from a female energies place. Maybe a female that's like Hispanic or Puerto Rican or Latin American. That's what I'm feeling. So it's some type of brujeria. Lee Martinez. Yeah, actually, I'm getting a hit on that. See, this is, you are so freaking intuitive. How you pick up on this stuff. Yeah, we're picking up on the same person. Yeah, that's who it's coming from. They practice some type of brujeria. Brujeria. I don't know how you say it correctly, but it's a Spanish word. It's like Spanish word for witchcraft. So let me just ask, does she know that she's intentionally inviting that energy in? Yes, she does. Maybe she's being tricked by this entity, though. No, they're not good people. But, well, now that we know where it's coming from, she's very jealous of Irene and you. Okay, so this is also where some of the evil eye's coming from. Fortune. She is very pissed off that you have a good fortune here. First card is Fortune. Beelzebub. Leave Kiwi Kid alone and get rid of the insects. When there's an insect that's doing its little monitoring bug, like when I see insects fly around, if it's a monitoring spirit, I will see like a shadow or it's like a energy form behind it that makes a silhouette of something. Like that's how I see it. But yeah, they are being projected at you because this person's trying to monitor you. I would Bruja, thank you. Yeah, I would go through your whole house with either ammonia or bleach and literally start pulling everything out, like, so you can get to the root core part of the issue. Yes, the things are trying to get inside the house. I get that they are out on the outside because, again, this person is drawing them to her. And this is why it's unfortunate when you live with when you have neighbors that do this type of stuff. Okay, they have whatever it is that they have going on, altars or shrines or whatever. And they feel like they have to do witchcraft on the neighborhood and on everybody else because they're afraid of getting caught for being a witch. Like, but this is definitely about your fortune. And fortune has to do with, like, well, let's get a definition. But I feel like fortune has to do with every positive aspect of your life. So like sex life, financial life, wealth, money, or the concept of luck, chance, and destiny. So that's basically everything that the Wheel of Fortune card represents. Okay. It encompasses both favorable outcomes, both the favorable outcomes in life. What I love about the Wheel of Fortune card is no matter how many times you spin that wheel, you still land on a good prize. I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a fair or a, an outside, get together thing where they have different tents and they'll have, or even a concert where they have spin the wheel and get a prize. It's like anything that lands on, you're still going to get a prize. So it does talk about wealth and riches. It talks about luck and chance. I feel like your luck has been affected. I don't feel like your destiny and fate can be affected because, first of all, you got the truth of God, which means that now you're in alignment with your destiny and fate. So I do feel like a lot is going to change with that energy. But somebody can see this person, this Martinez person, their last name, they can see the anointing on you. I feel like that's the biggest problem that most chosen people face, okay? Is that other people will see the anointing and this neighbor's actually afraid of you. Like they're afraid of you stopping their witchcraft. I think maybe you know this person from another lifetime. The Lovers. And I think that this person is into you. Let's get the likes up, you guys, please, and thank you. I think that this person is into you as well. And this is why she's been so jealous of your relationship with Irene. If you have any interactions with her, I would cut that to a minimum. And we say in the mighty name of God that first of all, Beelzebub, retract your shit. Secondly, we command all demonic forces to flee because the fire of God needs to come. We're calling upon and invoking the fire of God to come down and burn up this monitoring spirit, his Latin, I'm just going to say Latin witchcraft, specifically fine-tuned to have monitoring spirits around you, monitoring you. And this spell work is also supposed to be able to control your love life in some type of way. I mean, no, hell no. This is why I was picking up that if you ended up moving, it would be a blessing. Because why is there so much witchcraft around your house? I was thinking it was being sent from the people that we've been talking about, but no. When come to look at it, it's actually a neighbor. Queen of Swords. Yeah, you have to be okay with separating your energy. I had this dream this one time when I was living in the cursed ass condo on the Indian burial grounds with all of the crazy people. I was like, literally, I had this dream that in the dream state, people's houses that were connected to each other that shared walls, their bodies grew into each other. Like, it was a really effed up dream. But that to me was a sign that the energies, when your houses are connected to one another, the energies entangle, and that is a problem. Because if you have a neighbor that's doing, and I did have neighbors on the other side of the wall literally doing witchcraft, directed towards me and directed towards everybody else, and then they were they were doing so much bad shit to other people that other people were sending witchcraft to the location as well. I mean, it was just like a spot that was just so freaking demonic. I've never seen so many fucking entities in my entire life from living there. Yeah, Lee won't leave you alone. And Steve. Well, now you have the truth of God, so you can connect to God's energy. You know what that feels like. So you're going to be able to rise above it. But I feel like maybe setting up a crystal grid or setting a parameter around your home that you're only allowing positive in. I feel like this neighbor is a problem. Okay. Princess of Swords. She feels like she needs to defend herself from what? From your energy, uncovering what she's been doing. I think you've kind of picked up on it. This don't ever eat from this person. No, their house is completely infested as well. So also, when you have neighbors and the walls are connected and stuff and the vents and everything, sometimes when you have neighbors and they get sprayed for bugs, the bugs or the rats or whatever it is will move to the next location. And then sometimes it's just all of the locations are infected. I get that all of them. If you were to talk to your other neighbors, I'm sure that they're aware that they have an infestation problem. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Princess of Wands. Yeah, because this person keeps sending this energy out that's like really disgusting, but it's meant to monitor you. Do you know why somebody would want to monitor you? Specifically your love life? Why would somebody want to monitor your love life? What? You can pay me for a reading. Kiwi Kid, do you know why somebody would want to monitor your love life? Like, because look, when it comes to witchcraft being done, that takes time and energy and resources. Like I don't know what those things exactly are, the resources, but it could be, I don't know, candles, whatever. Like, so this is very strange to me that your neighbor has been doing this for some time now. And for you to have limited interactions. She said that she told you that she's out to sabotage you. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, now that we know that, then we can look at this a little bit differently. Damn. She to me is like not even, I don't want to objectify this person, this neighbor of yours, but she feels not really human. She feels like some other type of thing. I don't know what it is because I can't pinpoint it because it's some other type of thing, but she feels really like a black-eyed person, like black-eyed is not the right way. Like if you were to look at like a demon and their whole thing turns black, that's what I'm seeing in my mind. Like she's absolutely terrifying, this person. All right. Let me clear the witchcraft that she's done, but I can't stop her from doing anymore. So there's something that you need to do. Continue to connect with the truth of God. That's going to keep you out of the range where her witchcraft can affect you. But I would be going through your house and cleaning everything, ripping everything out, cleaning everything, and finding if there is just anywhere where this is originating from. Because it can't all be coming from the outside, can it? Is that possible? Is that even possible for there to be an infestation that's coming 100% from the outside? And the weird thing is that she has not just cursed you, she has cursed every neighbor living there. What is wrong with these people? Did she intend to do that? Yeah, she did. And then she also tried to put up protection against her witchcraft being reversed. You've got to be kidding. Okay. Now I feel like something is going to change, but still, you need to go through your entire house from front to back or back to front. When I use sage and stuff, okay? Let me just ask, would sage get rid of this type of energy? Well, yeah. What sage is known to be an like bacterial, antimicrobial. That's why the Native Americans use the smoke to like they put it over wounds and stuff like that to clear the energy. Yeah, I'm just getting that it's going to be really hard for make sure you are not keeping your windows open unless you're like smudging, but use a window that's got a screen on it. Yeah, and don't be leaving your door open. Yeah, those are the two ways that they can get in. That's the easiest from outside because I'm getting a majority is coming from outside. But once you have an infestation going on inside, you really need to go through and clean everything. Maybe call an exterminator or a bug person. To be quite honest, it feels like all of the neighbors are experiencing the same thing. Without the spiritual thing being there, you're still going to have roaches and shit like that you just have to get rid of, right? But at least that extra energy won't be pulling that in. But I can't guarantee that she's not going to go do another spell. So I would be actively using the techniques from the truth of God, praying Psalm 91, doing everything that you can do to protect your space. A crystal grid is really good because you can set up a crystal grid. And a crystal grid is like when you have a grid that's a sacred geometry picture. Actually, I've got a crystal grid book. Okay. So like this is what crystal grids look like. So it's a grid that you put crystals on and you charge the grid already really has charged energy. But this is like the seed of life. So it's going to cover the entire house. Okay? The best grid to use is called Metatron's cube. It's this one right here because you can use these circles for the different rooms in your house. And so yeah, that's the best one that I have found. But maybe I can tell you how to do a crystal grid. You want to first get the crystals though, and the grid part. That's the one thing about crystal grids. But when you put up a crystal grid, you're charging the clear quartz that's in the grid with the intention that you only allow positive in. The only thing that can come into your home is of a vibration that's the same as God. It's got to be peace and it's got to be loving. Because that's what I'm getting, literally will keep this person's witchcraft out of your house. Now, when it comes to around your house, this is why I was saying earlier in the reading to look through your yard and see if there's something buried. If there's a tuft of grass outside your yard that it's all dead and it looks weird, then maybe look at that. You have one for charging water. Okay. Yeah, you need more than one for a crystal grid. Just like the picture, see these ones are sending the energy out. They're holding the intention, and these crystals, anytime you bring clear quartz, which is this right here, anytime you bring clear quartz to any other crystal, the clear quartz amplifies the parameter of the crystal. And then when you so you use the clear crystal to charge your intention, which is that you only allow positive and positive comes to you. That which is of a vibration of unconditional love, joy, compassion, and peace and mercy. And so, yeah, in this grid, they've got some rose quartz, which is for unconditional love. They've got an amethyst in the middle, and I'm not for sure with these other two ones, but I would get one. And these crystals are going to just cost you a couple dollars. Like literally, it's not expensive to buy just little tumbled stones. I would get green aventurine for luck. I would get amethyst for reducing temptation, improving calmness and relaxation. You definitely want to have a piece of clear quartz at least the size of your thumb to program it, okay? To be the programmer crystal. And you put that at the center of the grid. Rose quartz would also be good. But for you, I would probably get our Fetsanite, which is this type of crystal. This is the best for keeping out psychic vampire energy and yeah, that specifically that type of thing. And I would also probably do tourmalated quartz, which is what this one's called, because that keeps out empathic energy. That way you're not picking up on what, wow, I can't believe that your neighbor was doing that. That's horrible. That is so not cool. Okay, let's get one more. One more, and then I will answer tropical tarots. Oh my gosh, we're at 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, let's see. What else? Happiness, because your happiness is important. So yeah, doing a crystal grid, I think that that's probably the best idea. There's another crystal called spectrolite. It's spelled SPECTROLITE. That crystal is the best crystal for keeping out ghosts and negative entities and demons and spirits. So that will detach negative entities. I would put black tourmaline. The black tourmaline, you can get it in the raw form or the polished form, but it's those little black parts that you see inside the crystal, and it blocks out harmful EMF rays and toxic energies. So yeah. Yes, you can pay me. As long as it's allowing you to do so, you can pay me, absolutely. So happiness, charging it with happiness. I think that that's a good thing. Also, if you can get bug spray, you need to clean your whole house, clean out everything, wash everything, like all of your bedding. I would be going through the house and making sure that everything is vacuumed, that yeah, because look, I'll be able to get Beelzebub to go. He's already gone. But this truce energy, I think you should have zero contact with this neighbor of yours, okay? That's probably my best advice. Also, I don't think this neighbor is going to be able to do whatever it wanted to do to your destiny. And so this neighbor has tried to steal the destiny of everybody around you. I bet if you went to all of your neighbors, all of them will have something to say about them having delays. Yes, I can. Yeah, I can clear the energy of all of your charms. I don't know what charms exactly are, but whatever it is you're talking about, I can focus the energy and I can clear it. Yeah, you want to put up a crystal grid. I think that that's probably the best way to deal with this type of situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know what happened between you and this neighbor to get them. Well, actually, now that I know that they're cursing all the other neighbors, I mean, this is a very weird situation. If you can limit your interaction with that person, that would be the best, but I would be praying against whatever they have going on, to be quite honest. I'd be like, whatever they're doing, angels, please block it. Because, yeah, we can't control other people. And it really sucks to have a witch as a neighbor, especially one that can sense anointings on people. And you've had multiple situations where you've been dealing with people who are like high level witches and warlocks. Like not like simple shit. It's like I don't even know how somebody would call upon Beelzebub, to be quite honest. I've only interacted with him through him tormenting other people, but other than that, like, I don't know how anybody even does that, or if how that connection even happened. But yeah, make sure you are keeping, if you have like a door open, make sure you have a screen. Like, I would be literally spraying bug spray around your windowsills, anywhere you think the insects can get in, because we can't change the fact that this person practices witchcraft, but you can put up a spirit, you can put up a grid, and then you can sage. I do think that the sage in itself would not get rid of Beelzebub, but it will get rid of the witchcraft this lady's sending. So that's what I'm getting, is to, or even burning, if you've got real incense, that may be an option as well. But to me, if you were to go through your house with a bunch of sage and a bunch of stuff, like Palo Santo is a really good one, you would start to see these energies start to flee. And so that's what I think that needs to be done. If you can, there's a crystal called lapis lazuli. It's a blue crystal. It's really good for connecting with Archangel Michael energy. Because I was going to say, if you can get a Archangel Michael pendant, or just anything that you can bury in your yard that's like an Archangel Michael, what are they called? Pendants? I think they're called pendants. I can bless it. Yeah, I can bless that, and I can infuse it with Archangel Michael. I can absolutely do that. I used to do that all the time at the Crystal Ray, or at the metaphysical store we used to work at. Because people would come in and they would, is it an amulet? Whatever it's called. Catholic people wear them all the time. Like, for every saint, for every angel, they have it's going to be like that big thing that you can put in your yard. So that would be another thing. One reason that demons, I have noticed, fleas. I have a huge Archangel Michael statue. I mean, it's about like that big. And where he actually has a chain going down to the devil and has his sword into the devil's back. That statue seems to work pretty good. So there are some things that you can do. But yeah, definitely just cut your own grass. Yeah. I mean, you want to check your yard to see if there's anything out there. And like I said, if there's a bump in the grass and then there's dead grass all around that, that's suspicious to me. Okay. Because I've literally had that experience, and I've had to cut into the grass or dig out the dead stuff because it keeps spreading dead. And then there's some type of weird object there. And I would not touch that with your bare hands. I would literally use gloves to pick it up. But yeah. Okay. Tropical Tarot, did you have any other questions? Oh, God bless you as well. Arizona's amazing. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. So let's get a couple cards. Let me know if you're still here, Tropical Tarot. Make sure that that's the end of it. Yeah. Yes, you was nearly destroyed by people who practice witchcraft. So was I. Yeah, I literally was destroyed by the shit. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And remember to do the God technique to make sure that you're connecting. Because the more that you do that, the more of these energies can't be around the presence of God. Okay, you're still here. Awesome. So I don't know if you were talking about sending me a payment on like Cash App, or if you were talking about what was it? Super Chat's not working. Okay, so if you still have a question, Tropical Tarot, or do you want me to just pull some cards and see what comes out? And then I just have to keep making sure that the chat's not lagging. All right, let's see. I feel like we're going to do 3 piles. Just the cards? Okay. But yeah, I've been watching the little snippets from The Chosen, the Jesus show. And like I saw The Passion of Christ in theaters with my mom. I hated it. 2 of Swords. Okay, so this is talking about your heart being closed off due to avoiding the possibility of pain. So the 2 of Swords card to me represents a heart wall. Now, my definition of a heart wall, I talk about it in Vassago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. In the back, I explain it because I just think it's really important for people to understand how the human system processes things, especially when it comes to emotional trauma. And when we put up a wall, like what it actually does. Okay, so heart walls. So I'm reading from Vassago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. So heart walls are put up almost as a reaction to a traumatic event. In our minds, our hearts, we say, whoa, that really hurts. I don't think that I want to experience that again. I am keeping that out. Then a wall is created, because when you think that, that's what you're doing. And a wall is created, and that wall will only allow in the experiences that are on the lower spectrum, compatibility spectrum. With a wall up, the good experiences cannot get through to you. This, because you're basically stating to the universe that you're not willing to receive, and we are beings that basically function off of receiving, right? So this is why it's very important to be aware if you are blocking yourself in your love life, because with a heart wall, that is exactly how you do that. But the thing is when you put up a heart wall, it's when you're saying, I'm keeping that out, I'm keeping that separate, I'm keeping that out. And the thing is, it's a normal reaction. So like I've had heart walls up before. Do I have one right now? No. Okay, good. I've had them up before. Because you go through something that's so painful that you're just like, I don't want to experience that again, right? But you have to understand that when you're saying no to the universe and going, I need to barricade myself in, the trauma that just happened is not able to be released fully. Okay, so then you just keep moving through life feeling emotionally blocked and in pain, right? Doesn't give you the opportunity to heal. Also, it blocks every aspect of your life, because when it comes to not wanting anything to come in, that's not a good feeling. That's not a good intention to have. And you don't want to be in denial about how you're reacting on an unconscious level. If you're going, whoa, okay, I need to just slow down. It's one thing to say I need to slow down. It's another thing to be like, I need to keep that out. I need to stay away from that. I need to do that, because we're putting up barriers that normal people who don't want to hurt us can't really get through. Does that make sense? It makes it so much harder to connect with others. 8 of Cups. So as long as this heart wall stays up, so I can take it down, but if you think that same thought again, this is why affirming the opposite is like really important, and using the truth of God so you can clear that thought and belief and be like, I'm done with it. I'm not going to think that me keeping things out and not receiving is going to help, because it's really not. The universe is going to try to give you stuff no matter what, because that's what it does. The 8 of Cups talks about being tired of a current situation. And it also talks about, it says leave your current relationship or job. That's crazy. Indicates travel or relocation. Look elsewhere for happiness. Look within for happiness. Only you can make you happy. It's not anybody else's job. And that would be like too much. Okay. I lived a long time. Well, 9 years to me is a long time. I lived 9 years not loving myself, allowing somebody to beat on me, all this stuff, forgiving them. Like I lived all these years of putting up walls and then bad things happening. I'm serious. If I had known about the heart wall thing when I was younger, I would have maybe been able, but I was under witchcraft. It was so freaking horrible. It just, this reminds me of that. And we know that she's tried to do witchcraft, but again, I don't get that it's working. It's just weird to me why anybody would, like, when there's already love and in a relationship, when two people are attracted to each other, why does someone have to do witchcraft? If it's already going good, why is witchcraft needed? Can anybody explain that to me? I really don't understand that. I'm also getting that had there not been so much witchcraft involved, and what is the hell with witchcraft? Spirit's like throwing it in my face, like, look at this witchcraft shit and stop believing it, stop giving it energy. I mean, because it just keeps coming up, right? And it's like, well, if there wasn't so much witchcraft involved, then there would be normalness. But even with things being the way that they are, it just feels to me like you guys still care about each other. It's a really hard situation. It says carry through with your plans though. And I'm taking the heart wall down right now and repairing your heart. It's like you kept giving away a piece of your heart to this person. And then eventually you would have had no heart energy left. So that's not a healthy way to be in a relationship. We shouldn't have to give a part of ourselves away. Wow. Okay. That was intense. But yeah, it's saying to make dramatic changes in your life, especially on the issue of relationship and stability. King of Wands. Yeah, remind yourself that you are a handsome, attractive person. Okay? And you're at the right timing in your life. I would be starting, there is I think I've got it tagged in the products, but Louise Hay is she was, God bless her soul. Louise Hay was a wonderful person that made affirmations. So we're going to look at the affirmation cards. These are the things that you need to be affirming to yourself. Because I feel like it's going to take a little bit of work to get through this situation. So let's get some affirmation cards. I am a loving, joyful person. I release all thoughts and vibrations of confusion, chaos, disharmony, disrespect, or distrust. They are eliminated from my consciousness completely. I learn something new every day. Life is a series of doors closing and opening to new experiences, sometimes learning experiences and sometimes joyous experiences. It is all part of life and I am safe. It's only change. It really is only change. I dwell on positive thoughts. Each thought I choose is like a drop of water. When my thoughts are positive, I can float on the ocean of life. You might want to check and see if there's a Louise Hay app that you can download on your phone. I create wonderful new beliefs for myself. My consciousness is now filled with positive thought patterns that contribute to my health, wealth, and loving relationships. And I express myself in positive ways. Everything I do is by choice. I can choose what to say, do, and think. I am on the next step to my healing. Yes, I love that. Making it a part of the now. I listen to any body messages and see myself as whole and healed. I'm taking responsibility. I am aware there is something I can do to change. I am in the right place. Wherever I go and whomever I meet, I find my own love and my highest good waiting for me. Oh my gosh. I just saw the card that said, I am a yes person. It reminded me of this movie that I don't know if Jim Carrey was in it, but he might have been in it. But it was called like Yes Man. And in this movie, he developed this belief that if he didn't say like yes to everything, that's a traumatic thing would happen, like something, it would be like an apocalypse in his life. Anyways, it is a hilarious movie. Oh my gosh. Whoever the lead person is there is so funny. I am willing to change. When the one door closes, another door opens. It's only change. I am safe and secure and loved. You are. I love being me. I am at ease. When I wake up in the morning, I feel the joy of spending another day with myself. I express my true being. My wisdom and understanding of spirit increases, and I express more fully each day the inner beauty and strength of my true being. Wow. My love is limitless. The more love I allow to flow out from me, the more there is within me, and the more that I receive. I am always perfectly protected. Where a fearful thought comes up, I recognize that it is trying to protect me. I thank it and let it go with love. Let's get one more. I treat myself with unconditional love. I am a precious being, loved by the universe. As I increase the love I have for myself, so too does the universe. Yes. Okay, one more. I am pure spirit. I recognize the true beauty of my being. I am the spirit of love shining brightly. I love and accept myself. Look in the mirror and say, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. When I accept all of myself, I am whole and healed. These cards are awesome. I love that they're double-sided. I let the light of my love shine. I have an infinite supply of love to give. The more I give, the more there is to receive. That is so freaking true. I am here at the right time. The work I am doing on myself is a lifetime process. It doesn't matter how much time it takes because I have all the time in the world. And I am worth loving. A powerful affirmation is to stand with arms wide open like this and say, I am willing to let the love in. It is safe to let the love in. I am willing to let the love in. It is safe to let the love in. I let the love in. Wow. I think that was a really important one for us to hear. It is only a thought, and a thought can be changed. My thoughts and words will create my future. My thoughts form the experiences of tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year. By acknowledging that, you begin to start, instead of being a participator in the thought, you can like observe it and then be like, yeah, that one, I'm not getting behind that one. All changes are easy for me to make. The moment I am willing to change, the universe begins to help me. It brings me whatever I need. I heal myself on all levels. Wherever I am, there is a healing atmosphere. It blesses me and brings peace to me and to all of those around me. There is a solution to every problem. There is an ever-ready power that helps me meet and overcome every challenge and crisis in my life. I accept all that I have created for myself. I am a divine, magnificent expression of life, and I deserve the very best. I accept miracles. I accept healing. I accept wholeness. And most of all, I accept myself. Okay, you guys, thank you for making it to the ending of this reading. I love you so much. These affirmations I feel are very powerful. Louise Hay was a wonderful person. I've got some of her books tagged in the products, but she literally, I think that there might even be an app that you can download that has like a daily affirmation thing in it. That's probably free. Oh, there was one that was left in the box. Let's see what it was. Oh, there was two. I am open and receptive. I believe in myself. I say affirmations that reflect what I really deserve. I am free to say no if something is not best for me. I use the power of my mind and my free will to do what I know is right. I trust myself. Yes. All right, you guys, if you could like this reading, or this video, I would really appreciate it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for making it to the ending of the reading. Remember, if you're interested in learning about how to read cards for yourself and others, I have written a book. It's tagged in the products. It's called Vassago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. I have written the book off of the original Rider-Waite Tarot. I've got the quick and easy with the description box, the description on the cards, tagged in the products and linked in the description box below. And for those of you that want to clear curses, connect with God's energy, and clear your mind and start creating your reality, The Truth of God, Advanced Intuitive Living, written by Michael STEADMAN, is tagged in the products and linked in the description box below. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for spending your time with me. Okay, I've got to get going. It's been about 3 hours now, but thank you everybody who donated. I just noticed that you sent that $20 super chat. So let's see. If you do have a question, I'm going to write down your screen name and I will be on here tomorrow. I'm just like a little bit tired now. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Kisses, hugs, and peace be with you. And I'll see you guys in the next one, okay? Bye. Have a wonderful evening, you guys. God bless you.